Welcome back. Now we're looking at values. So we can set to, this allows us to set a variable. So say we created a number variable named the, and then we set the to be something. Well, we've now got the variable on the left side of the set command, and then on the right side we need a number, which we can grab from our values tab as well. And now we can set the to be any number. You could also use this in a variety of applications. You can use this on vectors. You can get the position of a player or an object and set this vector to be that position of player or object, and then utilize that with math from the previous tab. Setting values is very, very powerful. Next, we have setting player's persistent variable. So if we're using player persistent variables, these are going to be super important. You go to your settings tab, hit player variables. Now I can't see this, but normally you'd see a plus button here and you'd be able to create a variable, and you can have 5 of these per world. These variables are persistent between sessions. So if you wanted a player's wins to be counted between sessions, say they'd won 5 matches, it'll continue counting when they come back. It'll tell you that. Or if you have their high score saved, you can save their high score till their next return. But then you can also get it by using the get player persistent variable. Please note you do need to know what the player's variable is. You can use the player lookup. Under the player section, you can get the player from index, and you can use a number to get that player. Next, we have debugging. This allows you to print in your debug panel. So right here, we can print into here to say, hey, did that event even get received? And when you pull over debug print, so here's when world started, you need to put a message here. Very important, this needs to be a string. So you could just drag a string input like this, but if you need to display a variable, make sure to use variable as a string. It's found at the very bottom of the operators tab. Value inputs, these are just regular values you can fill out. So self represents the object that it is currently. We have number input, which can be any number. We have Boolean, which can be a true or false. We have vector, which is for world position, scale. We also have rotation, which is for rotation of an object. Then we have color input, so that's the color of an object. And we have string input, which is any text string. You've made it to the end. We're now looking at variables. So let's create a new variable. If you hit this drop down, you're going to see all the different types of variables. We have numbers, Boolean, object, player ID, vector, rotation, color, string. These are all super duper powerful. Number, you want to then put in a name like this number. So there you go, there's a number with a name, this number, and now you can utilize this throughout your script, and you can also set this on the object itself. So say you wanted an object and you needed to know which object it was. Well, you could say this is object number 0, this is object number 1. And so I had a zombie game, and in that zombie game, if they were a certain number, then they were allowed to come and attack the player. So it was basically saying, hey, if you're at level this, then that zombie is free to come. But if that zombie isn't that level, then we don't have to use that. And so I was able to use the same zombie without having to code in every single zombie coming in. I could code it on the zombie side itself, which was pretty cool. Boolean, which is basically a true or false statement. So do you want to know, is it on? Is it up? Is it false? Is it whatever it is? It's usually something that has only 2 states. So then if it's like a lever, is it up, is it down, is it a garage door, is it a door that's open or closed? And this allows you to know what state is it in. Object, this tags any object in the game, whether it's that boat or a rock. That could even be a spawn point or a trigger or a sound effect or a visual effect. They all count as objects, and you label them in here. So we'll just say like visual effect. After object, we have player ID. And so this is useful if you need to know which player is accessing something and then continue to use it throughout the script. Normally, your player ID is only available in the event in which it came in. So when the player grabbed it, you can use the player's ID. But if you set that variable using the set to command from our values tab, then you can utilize that player ID over and over again to do a bunch of different things. Then we have vector. This represents a position in the world. It's 3 points, and so we'll just call this one position. Usually you'll find me using vectors to save a position on world start. What position does an object start at, and then move it back to that position if it's let go by a player. Similarly, we have rotation, and rotation is great for the same purpose. So if you wanted that object to be back in its original position after someone's done with it, you want to know what the rotation initially was, otherwise it won't go back in the same position. And then we have color. Color is a lot of fun. So like if I type in blue and you come in here, it's currently black because 000 is black, 111 is white, but this represents red, green, blue. So that's RGB. You can look these all up online, but this scale, so if we go red, green, blue, and we type in, let's say 0.5, you can see we now have kind of like a navy blue color, and you can blend that with the other three colors to get a lot of options. That's how your color variables work. You can also set colors. So you could set this variable using the set to, and then use, in here, you can get the color of an object from your operators tab. Last but not least, we have string input. So you could say hi, and then have this say hello world. And then you could dynamically change this text based off what the player has done. So maybe when they enter, it says hello world, but as they reach the end, it says congratulations. So that's how you can use these string variables. And the other thing that I was going to note about the position and rotation is these are also super useful if you want to move something by or rotate by a certain amount. For instance, if you have a door using a rotation, you can say, I want it to open 90 degrees, or I want it to open 45 degrees, and then utilize that rotation variable to have a bunch of different doors running the same script, but opening at varying amounts, because these variables can be set from inside of the object. Come over here, you can see all of these variables are in here. And so we can set the number. We can set whether it's true or false. Does it start on? Does it start off? We can tag a visual effects by dragging this reference cable to a different object. On that object, you'll find another reference cable like this. You can drag from either or to connect it in. You can even connect it to itself. But in that case, you should have been using self. So we'll clear that out by clicking that button there. You can also set the position vector. You can set the rotation. You can set the color from inside of here. You can even change the text that it starts up in here. So the string can be changed as well. And that is how we use our variables tab. If you have any questions about any of this, don't hesitate to ask. I look forward to seeing the next one. Bye!